Right then, guys, you probably couldn't tell, but the setting of it is slightly different. I'm sorting out so I can try and get a couple new things for a background. So yeah, I'm also currently in my room, be sorting stuff out all last couple of days really, which is why I haven't really done a video. But it's going to take a bit of teething time. It's going to take a bit of mixing around, but it should mean that hopefully I should have content out more often because it's a bit easier for me to film it now, and there's more things that I can have behind me that can make it a bit more interesting. But yeah, enough about that. This is my preview for Manchester United versus Luton Town. It's weird. It's an FA Cup tie, and it's one that, to be honest, I don't know if we should be resting players because of the fact that we're going to have so many games coming up, or if we should be playing players because we lack match sharpness. It's one of those where you don't really know how, and if whatever team Ollie puts out, you understand either way. And as well, it's Luton, who, it's not like they should be like a League 2 team. They're not, they're third in the Championship right now, and it's odd. Like, they're not like a massive team. I wouldn't say they're a massive team, but I digress. We were once a massive team, and we're not quite there anymore. So, who am I to talk? But yeah, basically, this is my little preview. I'm not really doing much detail because it's a team I don't know much about, and it's a match that hasn't got many implications really. It's a third round tie in a League Cup, so there's only so much you can talk about it. I can't talk about our previous form in the Cup because it's our first game. I can't really talk about our previous form in the League because we only had one game. So it's one of those ones where I can only talk about the future, and right now as a Man United fan, it's not too bright. If you were to look at our transfer business and you were to look at our recent results, we're not doing too hot. But that's enough about that. Let's just talk about Luton. Like I said, they're a side that, let's be honest, did better than a lot of us thought they would be doing. They're third in the league after winning their first two games and winning their first two rounds, with their striker scoring a hat-trick in the first round in the Cup, and he's on some good form at the moment. I think it's like 4 goals in 3 games. So it's not bad. But yeah, this one is only going to be a little short one because, like I said, don't know much about it. It's not a game that I can go too much detail about. It's a game that we can't really afford to lose in the grand scheme of things because it's probably our best chance at a trophy. And the embarrassment of losing to Palace and Luton the same week would be terrible. It really, really would. So we can't really afford to lose this game, but it's not one that we should be sacrificing players for. I'm going to go for a relatively strong but very heavily rotated side. It's weird. When you look at the team that I'm going to be putting out, it's a team that should be beating Luton, but it's a team that when you play against most Premier League teams, it's like bottom 5. So yeah, it's one of those ones where we've got just about enough squad depth to be a Championship side, but not enough to kick on. Anyway, my starting 11, I'm going to go for, it's been almost confirmed by Ollie and by the media that Dean Henderson is going to get his Manchester United debut, which is very good. I'm very happy for him. Let's see how he performs. At right back, I have gone for Brandon Williams, weirdly enough. He has played there. That's where he started out his academy life at right back. Him and Ethan Laird were constantly switching. I mean, there's been games where he's been left back and Laird's been left wing. Or the weird thing is they switch full-back position depending on their opponent, which is quite good. Shows that they're quite flexible, because you'll see that one half Laird will be left back and Brandon will be right back, and you'll find that maybe one of them isn't adept to playing against the person's wing they're facing. They just swap at half time. It's quite interesting. I'm going to go for a back two of Eric Bailly. He's been given a lot of praise by Ollie recently. And Ted Mengi. He's had a couple appearances for us. He came on, I think it was in the Europa League in the last couple of minutes with Copenhagen. And then he played that game in Astana as well. But I think it'd be nice to see him get a start in a competition where we're not like just chucking out the kids. In a competition where we're rotating, but he has been promoted to the first team squad. He's been training with the first team squad, so that clearly means that Ollie rates him and the coaches rate him, and I've heard a lot of good things from him, but you can wind him up. And you can get under a skin, and he does give away penalties. Which the only worry is, if you put him with Eric Bailly, that is a very irrational defence, whilst also being an incredibly physical and a very talented one. At left back, we didn't have many options. I could have gone with Brandon Williams at left back and put Timber at right back, or Timber at left back, or maybe put Williams at left back and putting Dallow at right back, but we're uncertain about his future. So I've just gone for Luke Shaw. He's just come back from his injury and he needs match fitness as well. And Ollie seems to be persistent with playing him, so it wouldn't be surprised if he plays at left back. In front of them, we're going to go for Matic and Fred as the deeper players. Fred hasn't played too much, and Matic as well hasn't played much recently. Opting to go for Scott McTominay in the first league game and in the final Europa League game. So we might be seeing the transition between Scott being our first team player and learning from Matic, and Matic just dropping back and allowing his age to be in full effect and allowing him to be a rotation player. But yeah, Fred is a bit of a workhorse, so it'd be good to see him with somebody that is properly defensively adept. It'll give him a bit more freedom. In front of them, we've got the technically debutant, but his first start will be Donny van der Beek, who looked very good when he came on. He scored our goal, of course, against Palace. He was finding the half spaces. He was getting some good passes. He was getting some really good positions. He was actually a bright spark when he came on, which isn't something you want to be saying for a player that's only been at the club for a couple of weeks and has played their first game. You don't really want to say that they've been their best player, but it's at the same time it's good. It shows that we bought a good player, and you know what? He should be running this game. From what I've seen of him, he should be running this game, and don't be surprised if he gets a couple goals today, because he is a goal-scoring midfielder. I mean, we saw it. He scored the other day. He got 13 goals and 7 assists, I think it was, in 34 games in the Eredivisie last season. So he gets involved. Now for a front three of Greenwood on the right, in his not preferred position, but the position he's been playing recently, I think that he might get a start, considering the fact that he was rested, or kind of rested. He came on at half time against, who was it? We played against Palace. Yeah, how can I forget that? But, I cleared out my memory. But yeah, he came on for Dan James at half time. So I think Ollie was trying to hit out at the board for not getting a right mid, but also trying to prove a message to England, who Ollie wanted. Basically, it's a win confirmed by Ollie himself. He said that he didn't want England to take Greenwood. He said that he wanted to give him a rest. He needs a rest, but they didn't listen to him. They took him anyway. So I feel like Ollie was just giving him that little rest that he needed, but he felt that at 1-0 down at half time, we needed to bring him on for that little extra. And he did look good when he came on. He did miss a chance, which at 1-1 could have levelled the playing field, but it wasn't the easiest chance, and he's still young. So I felt like Green would be getting games. Left wing, I'm going to go for the player who came off for Greenwood in the last game, and Dan James. Don't be surprised if Rashford plays. I don't want him to play. I don't want Rashford to play if he doesn't have to, because he just doesn't look fit. That's the issue. He doesn't like he's recovered fully from his ankle injury or his back injury. He did look good in some games after the return from lockdown, but in other games he disappeared. He wasn't great against Palace. He wasn't great against Sevilla. Maybe just get him a little bit of rest. Maybe just give him a week. So just give him this day off and then let him play again against Brighton the weekend. Could see a lot of difference. I know he's had time off, but it's very different between having time off when you're somewhat fit to having time off when you're injured. So maybe give him that chance and just let him just rest a bit. And then I'm going to go for Odin Igalo up top. He seems to be our pretty reliable cup striker. He had a run where he almost beat a record for most consistent goals on starts for Manchester United. So it says that he is good enough to do the job. Come to January, he won't be here, so we need to try and look at maybe transitioning him out and maybe a Greenwood up top in these type of matches, or maybe doing some business, please, guys. Just I don't want it to be that in January we're struggling and trying to find a striker again. I don't want that to happen again. So yeah, Odin Igalo, he has shown some qualities. His goal Who was it against? It was against LASK. Was incredible, where he controlled it, chipped it up, and then volleyed it to the top corner off the bar. Was incredible, and hopefully we're going to see more of that, but don't count on it. And then finally, I'm going to go for my score prediction, which I'm going to say a 3-1 away win. And if you don't know, that is a 3-1 win to Manchester United. I feel like with the erraticness of Bailly and Teden Mengi, I feel like we could get exposed, and I feel like it could be maybe one of their faults, but they won't hold their heads. They won't have their heads low. I feel like they could be our future partnership, because we've always been saying we need a quick player and a quick, like, physical player to partner either Maguire or Lindelof. Both Teden and Eric Bailly could be that player. So who knows? This could be Ollie's chance to look at the new centre back that could be playing for us, the new centre back that could be starting week in, week out. So hopefully they do give it a good performance, but I thought we will concede. Sadly, I think Henderson will concede his debut, but don't be surprised if he doesn't, because it is Henderson at the end of the day. He's a decent goalkeeper, and he'll be looking to get a clean sheet on his Manchester United debut. And then in terms of the 3 goals, I'm going to go for Van der Beek. I'm going to go for a Mason Greenwood, and I'm going for Juan Mata off the bench. There you go. That's my prediction. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace.